All right, everybody, welcome to the next NBC game of the week. The date is June the 24th, 1978, and we are at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles for the ball game between Cincinnati Reds and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Sparky Anderson's Reds against Tommy Lasorda's Dodgers. Starting pitchers for the Reds will be Tom Hume, and for the Dodgers it'll be Don Sutton. Hume 8-11 with a 4.14 earned run average. Sutton 15-11 with a 3.55 earned run average. Got our score sheet right here. You can see the starting lineups. Johnny Bench is actually on the bench in this game. Vic Correll will do the catching. Joe Morgan is also on the bench, and Junior Kennedy will be playing second base. So the Reds kind of going with a little bit of a makeshift lineup. Bill North will be taking the place of Rick Monday, and Lee Lacy will be taking the place of Reggie Smith. So backups for both sides on this Saturday afternoon game, as they decide that's how they wanted to do it. So that's how they're doing it. All right. First things first. Anytime we do a season ticket game, or at least anytime I do one, we check ballpark effects. Dodger Stadium, 1978. It's a June day game, 65 degrees. In order for the weather to have an effect, you've got to get above 86. So we need these three dice to add to 21 or higher to have any kind of effect. And they do not. That only adds up to a 16. So that gives the temperature to be 81 degrees, which falls in this 56 to 86. So there is no effect. Dodger Stadium weather will have no effect on the deep drives. All right, let's see if I can't get this a little bit better. Hopefully. I think it still looks a little tilted to me, but maybe it's not too bad. We shall see how that turns out. Get everything up to snuff, and we'll get this game underway. Assuming I don't have any internet issues. Hello, Kenyon. Hello, Brian. Hello, Ben. And hello, Chuck. Yeah, the Friday fun day would have been a whole lot more fun had I not accidentally, because what happens is on my headset, and I'll show you what happens. On my headset, it's a very long cord, which is down on the floor, and if my foot touches this button right here, now it's off mute. Now it's off mute. So I must have accidentally hit that, is all I can say. So, and since it was recording, not live, I didn't get any feedback on it, so I never knew that's what happened. But unfortunately, at the 58-minute mark, that's what happened. And it actually was a great game, went to extra innings, and it was really a fun game, but just technical difficulties I did not know about. Just put it that way. And I've got the game up on my phone so I can see the chat, because on my computer, it's telling me live chat is currently unavailable. I don't know why it's saying that, but for whatever reason it is. So I'm going to have to use the phone. Yeah, there's definitely no prompts, because it didn't, there was nothing to tell me that it was muted. I had no idea until I went back and started watching it, just to make sure it's what I wanted to put on, wanted to put out there. And then when I fast forwarded to the near the end, I noticed that now I don't have any muting. The other channel doesn't have those problems, but of course, the other channel doesn't do a whole lot of recordings either. Everything is live, and most of what I do is live. But that one thing I just have to record. But I think if that series is popular on Fridays, if I do it again, this Friday it would be Payoff Pitch, and my theme I was thinking about for Payoff Pitch was almost kind of a Cincinnati Reds theme, where I was going to take is actually a Sparky Anderson theme. Payoff Pitch, I was going to play the 1976 Reds against the 1984 Tigers, Sparky's two best teams that he managed, and play them in Game 1 of the World Series, in Game 1 of a World Series, and then see how that went, because I haven't played Payoff Pitch in a long time. So anyway, Don Sutton is finishing up the warm-up tosses, facing Pete Rose. Again, you got Johnny Bench and Joe Morgan on the bench. Both teams have lots of bench players. Both teams only have 4 relief pitchers. So they're hoping that the pitchers can do their thing. Sutton had 12 complete games and Hume had 3. But Hume's stamina is only a 5 and Sutton's is a 6. So we'll see what happens here. If that's too bright, I might dim this light just a hair. Maybe take some of the extra glare off of there. And I think we're just about ready to go. We're underway. We got 148, and that's going to be a strikeout. That's the only number on the strikeout on the 100s that he gets a strikeout is 148, and we found it. So Pete Rose down on strikes as Sutton strikes him out. Sutton struck out 154 in 238 in the 3rd innings in 1978. That will send up Ken Griffey. We get a 183, and that's going to be a deep fly to left field. Out number 2. 2 down, and Dave Concepcion. 417, that's a split against a righty, and a 417 is a 6-3 ground out. Would have been a 6-4-3 double play, but it's just a 6-3 ground out. And the Reds go very quietly in their half of the 1st. So that is gone. We go to the bottom of the 1st. It is Cincinnati nothing, and the Dodgers coming to bat. Tom Hume, the right-hander. And he'll be facing Lopes, Russell, and Garvey for the Dodgers. Hello, midlife. Good to see you. Again, it sucks that I hit the mute button on the replay game because it was actually a really fun game. So I forgot how much fun replay baseball was. We haven't played in a while. 553, that's a fielding check on the 3rd baseman, Pete Rose, but a 3 in the blue should help him out. So 553 is going to be a 5-3 ground out. So Pete Rose takes care of Lopes, and there's 1 away. I know a lot of people were at the Play.con in Denver, so might not get as many people in here as we normally get on a Saturday afternoon for the NBC Game of the Week, but that's okay. We trudge on. 193, and that's going to be a bloop single. And again, always forget something, and what I forgot were the little base markers. So let me get those real quick for each of the teams. This is for the Dodgers. And the Reds. And where's my other Dodger one? For some reason, one of my Dodger ones is hiding. We'll go with 2 Dodgers, and if it comes up a 3rd one, I'm in trouble, I guess. But we'll go with the one for the half for the Dodgers right now. So Bill Russell gets a bloop single. 10 stolen bases, 6 steals. The hold rate on Hume, though, is pretty good at a 5. So we're going to hold Russell there and let Steve Garvey swing away. .421, again, split chance against a right-hander. .421 is a 6-4-3 double play, and that will take care of the Dodgers in the 1st. At the end of 1, no score from Chavez Ravine in Los Angeles. Sutton back out. And of course, if anybody's not familiar with this mat is from Payoff Pitch. All right, so George Foster steps to the plate. 563. It's a defensive check on Russell, but the blue 3 should be easy. And it is 560. Would have been a double play, but just a 6-3 ground out. And Foster is retired. Brings up Dan Dreesen, first baseman. Trying to replace the legendary Tony Perez. 677, that's a deep drive. And 677 is going to be a bloop single. Loop single for Dreesen. And the Reds have the leadoff runner on. Or not the leadoff runner, one out, I should say. Hold is a 3 on Sutton. Dreesen stole 28 bases, only got caught 9 times. With a 3 hold, that's pretty mediocre. So Dreesen's going to see if he can get the lead. So again, just for review, to get the lead, we take the steal rating of the batter, of the runner, Dreesen, which is 4, add the 2 blue and white dice, and it has to be greater than or equal to 10 plus the hold, which in this case is a 3, so it has to be greater than 13. So he starts at a 4, so that means these 2 dice have to be 9 or higher in order for him to get the lead. And they are, so he does get the lead. So with that being the lead, we go right into the steal category. The speed is a 5 on Dreesen. So we're going to take 5 and add it to the 3 dice, and it has to be greater than 10 plus the arm of the catcher. And the arm of the catcher, Steve Yeager. Yeager's arm is a 6. So it has to equal 16 or better. So the 5 plus, so these 3 dice have to total 11 or higher for him to be safe. And they do. So it is a stolen base for Dan Dreesen. So Dreesen steals second base with 1 out. He's in scoring position for Cesar Geronimo, lefty hitter. That's a 253 against a lefty. And that is a deep drive to right field for Geronimo. His power is a 3. Deep drive to right. Power is a 3. We're going to add the 2 dice to the 3 and see what happens. That's a 15. So we get a total of 18, and that's gone. Home run for Cesar Geronimo. Look at it again. The 15 plus the 3 power rating gives him an 18, and that is gone. So a 2-run home run from Cesar Geronimo. And the Reds lead it 2-0 here in the second inning. Geronimo had 5 home runs on the season, but pretty good one. Good time to get one right there. It's 2-0 Reds here in the top of the second with 1 out for Junior Kennedy. That's a 232. Kennedy's a righty. 232 is going to be a strikeout. So Kennedy strikes out, second strikeout for Sutton. And that brings up the catcher, Vic Correll, or Coral. I think it's pronounced Correll. Giving bench the day off after a night game. 562. It's a defensive check on Russell, but the blue 2 should be very easy. And it is. 562 is a ground out, would be a double play. But the Reds get 2 runs on the 2-run home run from Cesar Geronimo. And we go to the bottom of the second. It's Cincinnati 2 and Los Angeles 0. Tom Hume back out. And he'll be facing the Penguin, Ron Say. Hello, Jace. That's very kind of you to say. I appreciate it. I know when I'm not playing, and if I'm doing chores around the house or whatever, I try to find somebody who has a game on, or if it's not live, I'll check out a recorded version. And just even if I've seen the game before, just have that on the background is comforting. That's for sure. Here's Ron Say, 664 deep drive, but the home team's batting, so it turns to a 674. 674 is a wild pitch, so it's just ball 1. And we move on. That's a 563. That's going to be a check on, again, Concepcion, but that blue 3 is going to make it very easy for Concepcion, Gold Glove fielder that he is, and that is going to be a easy play for Concepcion, 1 away. Darn shame he's not in the Hall of Fame. He certainly, you can't tell me, nobody can convince me at all that Pee Wee Reese and Phil Rizzuto were better than Dave Concepcion. That's bullshit. That is total bullshit. Concepcion should be in the Hall of Fame, no doubt about it. If he doesn't belong, then those 2 need to be pulled. That's just ridiculous, because Concepcion should be in the Hall of Fame. Here's Hume, 170, and that is a wild pitch with nobody on base. Ball 1. 432. Baker against the righty split is a 5-3 ground out, 2 down. But if you want me to tell you how I really feel, I will. But hello, Allard. Hello, Robert. Here's Lee Lacey. 339. Non-split is a ground ball to third, and that's going to end the inning. So Hume with another 1-2-3 inning. And at the end of 2, it's Cincinnati 2 and the Dodgers nothing. Here on the NBC Game of the Week 1978 season ticket baseball. And if you think the Dodgers and the Reds are on the NBC Game of the Week too much, blame NBC, because I'm just playing what they put out there. All right, so Hume is the batter, and his I rating is a 3. His contact is a 1, so if we need that, we have it. That's if we roll a 300 or a 400. But we don't need that, so we'll take care of all of that out of there. That's a 113, which is a redirect to a 313. Whoops, so we are going to need it after all because it's a redirect. But a 313 is going to strike out. I don't care what your I rating is. 313 or contact rating is. 313 is a strikeout. So he will strike out. 1 away. Third strikeout for Mr. Sutton. That's what Mr. Jester would say, Ben. Here's Pete Rose. 136. That's a redirect to a 336, and that's going to be a ground ball to short for out number 2. 2 down for Ken Griffey. 420. Split against a righty. 420 is a 4-3 ground out, and that's going to end the inning. 3 up and 3 down. Go the Reds. We go to the bottom of the third. Still a 2-0 Reds lead. And due up will be Bill North, center fielder for the Dodgers. It'll be North, Yeager, and Sutton due up for Los Angeles. .139, and that's going to be a fly to left. 1 away, and that sends up Mr. Yeager, the Jägermeister. 265. That's a split chance against right-handers, and that's going to be a 555. It's a redirect to a 555. So that means Pete Rose might have a little issue with this, with that blue 5. So we shall see. 555 is going to be a single to left field. Rose with limited range. So Yeager will sneak it past him for a base hit. 1 out single, and that will bring up Don Sutton. Since there's 1 out already, they're going to let him swing away. Not going to bunt when there's already 1 out. Hello, GJ from the left coast. 576. That's for the left fielder, and that is George Foster. The blue 6 is questionable. However, Foster will make the catch. A 577 would have been a double, but a 576 is a fly to left. 2 down. Had any runner been on second or third, they would have advanced, but not a runner on first. So deep fly to left off the bat of Sutton. 2 down for Davey Lopes. 541, and that's an easy ground ball to the second baseman, Kennedy. With that blue 1, that would be a double play, but there are already 2 outs, so it's just going to be a 4-3 ground out. To end the inning, so 3 innings are in the books, and it's still the Reds 2 and the Dodgers nothing. So Hume holding his own against Don Sutton. Sutton will be facing Concepcion, Foster, and Dreesen. 313, and that's going to be a strikeout. Strikeout number 4 for Sutton, and that brings up Foster. 192, and that's going to be a bloop single. A bloop single for George Foster. Foster stole 4, got caught 4 times, so we're going to have him hold. And here's Dreesen. Dreesen singled his last time up. 386, non-split, is a 463 double play, unfortunately, for the Reds. 396 would have been a home run, but 386 turns into a 463 DP to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 4th. Still 2-0. And due up for the men in blue, it is going to be Bill Russell. He'll be followed in the order by Garvey and Say. So Hume to Russell. 468, split chance against a right-hander. 468 is a double to left field for Bill Russell. So how about that? Bill Russell gets himself a leadoff double. Dodgers with a leadoff double from Bill Russell. That'll bring up Garvey. .677 turns to a .687 with the home team batting. .687 is a single plus. That scores the runner from second. So scoring from second is Russell. RBI single from Garvey. And the lead has been cut to 2-1. Lead is now cut to 2-1 for the Penguin, Ron Say. Still nobody out. 238, right-hander. 238 is a 1-6 force play for the out. So it's going to go 1-6 on the fielder's choice. Ron Say is the new runner. Had he been facing a lefty, that would have been a single. So that's where the left-right splits can take effect. Here is Dusty Baker. 416 against a right-hander, and that's a 6-4-3 double play. Yet another double play turned by the Reds, and that will, or turned in this ball game. Both teams are turning double plays. Second one turned by the Reds. Dodgers have turned 1, and the Reds have turned 2. So in 4 innings, we have 3 double plays. But at the end of 4, it is now a 2-1 ball game as the Dodgers have cut the lead in half. And due up for the Reds, Geronimo, he homered. First time up. The 2-run homer was the Reds' 2 runs in this ball game. That is a 382. Non-split is a ground ball to second. Lopes will handle it. 1 away for Junior Kennedy. And like I do with all the other games, barring an injury or a pitching change, I will not make any substitutions to the lineup until at least the 7th inning. 305 is a strikeout. Strikeout number 5 for Sutton. Here's Carell. 172, non-split is a fly to left, and it's an easy 1-2-3 inning for Sutton. Go to the bottom of the 5th, still 2-1 Reds. Hume back out. You're facing Lee Lacy, Bill North, and Steve Yeager for the men in blue. 230, and Lacy's a righty, so 230 is a 5-3 ground out. Pete Rose takes care of it. Over to Dreesen, 1 away, and here's Bill North. 315 is a strikeout. So Hume with strikeout number 1. That's the first strikeout for Hume in the ball game. Took him 4 innings to get it, 5 innings to get it, but he finally got one. Hume 364, non-split, is going to be a 6-3 ground out. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Tom Hume as well. So 5 innings are in the books, and the score is still 2-1 favor of Cincinnati. Now we're going to start to get closer and closer to the pit fatigue. Sutton Next inning will be his fatigue inning, but the bottom of the inning, Hume will have 6th. Hello, Doug. Good to see you. Hume, his first time up, struck out. 659. 659 is going to be a ground ball to short. So Hume is there as he grounds it to Russell. Sends up Rose. Rose is 0 for 2. That's a 454 against a right-hander. 454 is a double to center field for Pete Rose. So how about that? Pete Rose with a double. Rose a 1-out double. And that'll send up Ken Griffey. Chance for the Reds to extend the lead. 205. 205 against a lefty is a walk. Would have been a strikeout to a righty. But against a lefty, it is a walk. And that's going to put 2 on. It does set up a double play. Concepcion, the batter. Blurry on your end. Not sure why it would be blurry. Let me see what it's doing on my end. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's showing the blurry on my end as well, and I don't know why. Something to do. I mean, it's got autofocus, so that shouldn't be a problem. It has to do. I'm sure it's the internet. I'm sure it's the wonderful internet that Xfinity that for whatever reason is giving me issues. So we're going to try to play through it, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how to fix it. So internet thing. I mean, I could close down the stream and restart it and see if that helps. I don't know if that would help or not. Somebody could let me know. I could do that, be a couple minute delay while I reboot everything and see if I can get that going again. So I go ahead and do that, since it's because to go further is probably not going to be a good thing to do. So let me do that. I'm going to go ahead and shut this down and reboot it. So I'll be back in about as fast as I can get it done, put it that way. Come on. All right, so it's telling me that I'm back in business. Let's see if I am or not. Try something here. Is my hand not showing up on my phone? There we go. Okay, so I think we're back in business now. Somebody can confirm, but all right, Brian B. Looks like we're back in business. Okay, so where we left off was a leadoff double from Pete Rose. Ken Griffey drew a base on balls, and now coming up to bat is Concepcion with first and second and 1 out. Well, actually, the pitcher Hume led off grounding out to short, so it was 1 out. Runners at first and second, 1 down rather. 2-1 Reds, and Concepcion. And now I've got my chat back on my laptop, so that helps too. So Concepcion, Sutton to Concepcion. Got a 422. And against a right-hander, 422 is a 6-4-3 double play. So yet another double play will end the inning. Each team now turning 2 double plays to get them out of jams. And we go to the bottom of the 6th. Score still 2-1 Reds. Still a little fuzzy on my end as far as not being smooth as I would like it, but I guess it's tolerable at this point. We shall see. Let's see who's coming up for the Dodgers. It's actually going to be Don Sutton. Now, do they pinch hit for Sutton? It's 2-1 Sutton has gone 6 innings. There are only 4 bullpen pitchers, but boy, they could surely use something to get some offense going. So this is where the NL managing really comes into play. In the American League, Sutton will keep pitching, no questions asked. But in the National League, you need that offense. So I think we're going to go ahead and have a pinch hitter, and we're going to cap Sutton at 6 innings. Sutton's going to go 6 innings, give up 2 runs. One of them was a home run from Geronimo. So he gave up, looks like 4 hits, 2 runs. They were earned. He walked 1, and he struck out 5. So that's going to be it for Sutton. We will get a pinch hitter, and you can see the pinch hitters that are on the bench. Vic Davalillo is the first one that sticks out in my mind because he would be a leadoff hitter rather than Rick Mundy, who's more of a, you want to drive a guy in kind of thing. So Vic Davalillo will pinch hit. Vic Davalillo will pinch hit for Sutton. And then coming in to the top of the 7th will be Bob Welch. Right-hander Bob Welch will come in and pitch the top of the 7th. So that's all for Sutton. His day is done. And now the Dodgers try to get some runs. So Davalillo facing Hume. This is the fatigue inning for Hume. So any hits or walks or whatever he gives up is going to add 10 to the deep drive. Or to the ballpark, I should say, not deep drive. 319, that's trouble. Could be trouble. Let's see. 319 is actually going to be a fly to left. I was thinking 519 at first because that would have been a tough fielding spot. So Davalillo, or Davalillo, however it's pronounced, flies to left, so he's out of there, 1 away. Back to the top of the order, and Davey Lopes. Some could have questioned whether I should have pulled Sutton right then, but I just thought we needed the runs. 372, non-split, is a ground ball to short. So Tom Hume definitely holding his own. 2 down for Bill Russell. That is a 258. Russell's a righty. 258 is a redirect to a 568. So 568 is a ground ball to short that Concepcion has to deal with, but that blue 8 is going to be tough. And a 568 is actually going to be an error on Concepcion. So the redirect, he redirected right into an error for Concepcion. So Russell will reach with 2 outs. He's aboard on the error. And that'll send up Steve Garvey. .618, but we just gave up. Well, the error is not going to. I'm not going to count that against them. .618 is still going to stay at .618, and that's going to be a pop out. Even a .628 would have been out either way. So it's a pop out to end the inning. And we completed 6 with the score still 2-1 Cincinnati. Hume going to keep pitching. Why not? He's pitching well. No sense taking him out. For the Reds, it'll be Foster, Dreesen, and Geronimo to face Bob Welch. 7-4 with a 2.02 ERA. Started 13 games, relieved in 10. A wonderful ERA of 2.02. He had some epic battles with Reggie Jackson in the World Series. So we'll see what happens here. Welch to Foster. That's a 558. That's bad news for Ron Say, that blue 8. And that blue 8 means it's going to get by him for a base hit. So single for Foster. Leadoff single. He's 2 for 3. Welch has a hold of 8, so it's going to be very tough to steal on him. So they will just turn it over to Dreesen. 288 against a lefty. 288 is a deep drive to right field. So Dreesen's power is a 5. It's a deep drive. We're going to add 5 to this 2D10 roll and see what we get. 5 and a 14 is a 19, and that is going to be a home run. 2-run shot Off the bat of Danny Dreesen, a second two-run home run of the game for the Reds on the deep drive. Two-run home run, and the Reds lead it 4-1. Bob Welch bitten by the gopher ball. Here's Geronimo. 277 against a lefty. 277's a fly out to right field. One away, and that brings up Junior Kennedy. .261. Split chance against a righty. .261 is a pop to second. Two down for Vic Carell. So as long as the Reds maintain a 4-1 lead, they'll keep their stars on the bench and let them rest. 640 on the ballpark is going to be a 3-1 ground out. So it's a ground out to Garvey. He flips to Welch covering. But the Reds pick up 2 runs on the 2-run homer from Dan Dreesen. And we go to the bottom of the 7th with the score, Cincinnati 4 and the Dodgers 1. And we're going to let Hume keep going. He's scheduled to face Say, Baker, and Lacey. But before we do that, it is the 7th inning stretch. And we will go to Take Me Out to the Ball Game. And after a snafu of the internet thing, I'm going to need a stretch break. All right, 7th inning stretch is in the books. And as we look ahead to next Saturday, we will be at the friendly confines of Wrigley Field. And it will be the Philadelphia Phillies taking on the Chicago Cubs. That will be next Saturday on the NBC Game of the Week as we stay in the National League. All right. Bottom of the 7th we go. Reds now lead it 4-1. So Ron Say, the batter. 481, split chance. 481 is a fly to deep center field, one away. That'll send up Dusty Baker. 135, and that's a fly to right field. Two down. So Hume doing very well for himself. At least it's going to go 7 innings. He's scheduled to bat lead off next inning, so they'll probably cap him here at the 7th inning. 324, and that's going to be a fly to right field to end the inning. So Hume finishes strong. He goes 7 innings, gives up just the 1 run. Was earned. Let's see how many hits he gave up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just 4 hits I've got him for. And I don't see any walks. He only struck out the 1 batter. He struck out Bill North. That was it. But 7 strong innings for Tom Hume. And they will turn it over to the bullpen. Brian B. says Lum to pinch hit. And who do you want to come in? Do you want Bear? Do you want Bourbon? Let's see. North, Yeager, and a pinch hitter for the pitcher is what's coming up. Switch right and pinch hitter. So Doug Bear. There he is, Doug Bear. So Doug Bear is loosening in the bullpen. So we're going to have Bear coming on and Lum, the pinch hitter, against Bob Welch. Bob Ebony Eyes Welch. He's very sentimental from what I understand. All right. So Hume gave them all they could hope for. And now they've turned it over to pinch hitter Mike Lum. Left-handed pinch hitter Mike Lum. 267 average in 1978. Top of the eighth, 4-1 Reds. Welch will be facing Mr. Lum. 635 on the deep drive. Oops. Stuff gets in the way here, doesn't it? 635 is going to be a fly to center, and that's an easy play to retire Lum. These printed cards are very slick. So one away. Back to the top of the order for Rose. .449 against a righty. 449 is a double for Pete Rose. Look at that. Pete Rose with a double. That is his second double in a row. He doubled in the sixth inning. Now he doubles here with one out, does Mr. Rose. And now brings up Ken Griffey. Reds have Griffey followed by Concepcion and Foster. 664. 664 is a 3-1 put out, so that's going to advance the runner to third base for out number 2. Garvey flipping to Welch. Rose does take third. And now with 2 outs, it'll be up to Concepcion to get the Reds another insurance run. .174 is going to be a walk. That'll keep the inning going. Pass the baton to Foster. Foster is 2 for 3. And we'll see what happens here. They don't really want to spend their closer Huff. So they're going to see if Welch can get out of it. 5, well, not with the blue 9, they're not. 599. And 599 is going to be Lee Lacy check, and I'm sure that's going to be trouble for Lee Lacy. 599 is a single plus. That's an RBI single. Other runner at first stops at second. But it is an RBI single from Foster that will score Rose. It's now 5-1 with Concepcion stopping at second base. Dan Dreesen coming up, and that's going to be all for Bob Welch. Welch's day is done. As the lefties are coming up, and the Dodgers will go to Lance Rotson. Rotshand, however you pronounce it. Rotshand, you don't have to put on a red light. No, that's not exactly how it's pronounced, is it? So I always called him Ronson. I'm not sure the official pronunciation. Not that it matters. Rotshand. I think the H is silent, but I could be wrong. So with Danny Dreesen coming up, Lance Ronson is going to be the pitcher to face Dreesen. So Welch, very mediocre outing for Welch. Welch is going to go an inning and 2/3. And he's going to give up 3 runs, although he's responsible for both these runners here. Right now he's given up 3 runs. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits, 1 walk, and no strikeouts. So Rotson trying to get out of the inning without any more damage done against Dreesen. That's a 1-0-1. It's a redirect to a 3-0-1, and that's a strikeout to end the inning. But the Reds get an extra run. It's charged to Welch. And we will go to the bottom of the eighth with the Reds leading 5-1. That's going to be all for Ronson, as the pitcher spot is coming up third. The Reds will be making some defensive substitutions. Ray Knight. Let's see, Lum will be at first base. He's going to stay in the game and play first base and bat ninth. Will Lum. That means the pitcher spot is going to be in Dreesen's old spot. So Bayer will hit fifth in the order. And at third base, Ray Knight will take over for Rose. All right, so let's get these guys off the bench. Ray Knight will come in, and Dreesen will exit. So Dreesen exits. Doug Bayer will be coming on. Ray Knight will bat leadoff. And Pete Rose is also out of the game. So let's get the lineup straight going forward. It's Geronimo, Kennedy, Carell. Where did Lum go? Bring Lum back here. I think I had tossed Lum after he pinch hit. Where'd you go, Lum? You're around here somewhere. Where did Mike Lum go? All right, I got to find Mike Lum. He went somewhere in all this mess. Good thing they're color-coded. At least I'm looking for a red card, not a neutral colored card. So Lum won't be so hard to find. Just look for the red cards. He's got there he is. He was buried under some players. All right, so I want to make sure I got the lineup straight. We're going to have Geronimo. Let's bring the score sheet in so we can double check it. There's your score sheet. So we're going to have Geronimo leading off the next inning, followed by Kennedy and Lum. And then we're going to have Ray Knight hit there, followed by Griffey, Concepcion, Foster, and the pitcher Bayer. Actually, it should be Kennedy, Carell, and Lum. Okay. Yep. Okay. So now we're straight. Now we are straight. Okay. 5-1 favor of the Reds. The Dodgers will have Bill North. So let's update our roster sheet to show that Knight has been brought into the ball game. And let's see, they're going to have, looks like they're going to have Rick Monday pinch hit for Ronson. So Monday will do the pinch hitting. He will bat third this inning behind North and Yeager. Might get a pinch hitter for Yeager as well. In fact, we will. They're going to have Reggie Smith hit for Yeager. And then they'll have Jerry Grody coming to catch. So let's get those players out here. Reggie Smith is going to do that. Jerry Grody will catch in the top of the inning. Rick Monday will pinch hit. So it's going to be North, Monday, and North, Smith, and Monday. North, Smith, and Monday. Yeager's out of the game. So Grody's coming on to catch. Smith will pinch hit as well. And the new pitcher is going to be Terry Forster in the top of the ninth. So there we go. But Bill North will lead things off against Doug Bayer in a 5-1 ball game after all that cleanup and logistics are done. Bill North. 492 against a right-hander. 492 against a right-hander is a strikeout. Against a lefty, it would have been a deep drive. But strikeout for North. He's out of there. And here's Rick Monday. He is hitting for Steve Yeager. Pinch hitting for Steve Yeager. I'm sorry, it's Reggie Smith. And then Monday will pinch hit for the pitcher. My bad. It is Reggie Smith pinch hitting for Yeager. 599. That's trouble for the right fielder, Ken Griffey. A 599 is a single plus. Run on first could challenge, but down 5-1. Why would you challenge? You don't want to run yourself out of an inning. So Reggie Smith, pinch hit single. He'll be on. And Rick Monday is your batter. Pinch hitting for the pitcher, Ronson. 429 against a right-hander. 429 is a strikeout. So Monday strikes out in the pinch. 2 away. And top of the order, Davey Lopes. 151, and that is a strikeout again. So Hume strikes out, Baer strikes out the side. And at the end of 5, it is still 5-1 Reds. We go to the top of the 9th, and Terry Forster, a left-handed reliever, will be coming in for the Dodgers. Terry Forster. So if I can find his card. There it is. Terry Forster. So Forster is on to pitch. Turns out Ronson only pitched a third of an inning. He struck out the only guy he faced. Didn't do a double switch, so went in and pulled him. And Terry Forster is going to come on to face Geronimo, Kennedy, and Carell. .600 even, and that's going to be a double play. 6-4-3, but nobody's on base, so just a 6-3 ground out. Geronimo is out of there. Brings up Junior Kennedy. 187, and that's a bloop single for Junior Kennedy. His first hit of the game brings up Vic Carell. 132, redirect to a 332, and that's a strikeout. Struck him out, 2 down, and here is Mike Lum. Stayed in the game on the double switch and stayed in the game to play first base. 473 against a lefty is a double plus. Now, I don't know. Let's see. I think that double plus is going to score it has to score the runner from first, obviously. So that's an RBI double from Mike Lum. Wow. RBI double from Mike Lum, and it makes it 6-1 Reds. So lefty on lefty, he didn't care. And that'll bring up Ray Knight, top of the order. 6-1 Reds. As Sparky's feeling pretty good about things. 299 against a right-hander is a deep drive to left field. Knight's power is a 4. A deep drive to left. Knight's power is a 4. We're going to add the 2 dice to the 4. That's a 7. We get an 11, and that's going to be a deep fly to left to end the inning. But damage done. The Reds put up another run, another insurance run to lead it 6-1. As we go to the bottom of the 9th, Forster is going to go 1 inning, give up 2 hits and a run, which was earned. No walks and a strikeout. And now, bottom of the 9th, Doug Bayer will be tired this inning because he's got a fatigue of 1. So you got that right, Mr. Bryan. I'm assuming with a 6-1 lead, you want to keep with Bayer, even though it's going to add 10 to the ballpark rolls. I would assume you'd want to keep with Bayer because he's got cushion there. He is their closer after all. All right, due up for the Dodgers is Russell, Garvey, and Say, heart of the order, against Doug Bayer. Now, since we're in the second inning for Bayer, if he gives up a hit, any future at-bats after that go to the ballpark, we add 10. Plus, we're going to add 10 because the home team's batting, so it'll be an adding of 20, actually. Bayer to Russell, 3-0-1. It's a ground ball to third base. And the new third baseman, Ray Knight, will take care of it. 1 away for Steve Garvey. Remember, next week, will be at the friendly confines of Wrigley Field for the Philadelphia Phillies against the Chicago Cubs. That'll be on the July 1st date of 1978. 6:15. Home team batting's a 625. 625 is a pop up to second, and that's 2 away. Bear 1 out away from closing it out. Has to deal with the Penguin, Ron Say. .587. That could be a tough play for Geronimo with that blue 7. And it is. That's going to drop for a double for Ron Say. So a 2-out double off the bat of Ron Say. And the ball game is not over yet. Although still pretty good hands with a 5-run lead. But Dusty Baker will be batting now. That's the second hit allowed by Hume. But he does have, of course, 5-run lead to work with. Baer to Baker. 320. And that's a strikeout to end the ball game. So Doug Baer strikes him out. And as a famous announcer once said, this one belongs to the Reds. This one does belong to the Reds. They win it by the score of 6-1. Winning pitcher is Tom Hume. The loser is Don Sutton. No save because when Baer came in, it was already a 4-run lead. So they never got to a 3-run lead. So no save to worry about. Baer goes 2 innings, gives up 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and he struck out 4. So for Cincinnati, 6 runs. They do it on 10 hits and 1 error. For the Dodgers, 1 run on 6 hits and no errors. I'll do left on base real quickly. For the Reds, they didn't have that many because they had a couple double plays thrown in there. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. I've only got them for 4 left on base. For the Dodgers, 1, 2, 3. They only had 4 left on, so there weren't a whole lot of left on bases there. So there you go. Apologize for the internet glitch. I don't know what happened on that, but the only way I could fix that was to shut it down and reboot, which is about a 5-minute delay. Hopefully you still enjoy this presentation of Season Ticket Baseball NBC Game of the Week. Cincinnati Reds do it to the Dodgers by the score of 6-1. Again, next Saturday will be at the friendly confines of Chicago, and it will be the Phillies against the Cubs. Like I said, the Friday thing I did with replay baseball, I'm going to try to do it again this coming Friday. And it's going to be payoff pitch, and it's going to be game 1 of a fictional World Series between Sparky Anderson's 2 best teams, the 1976 Reds at the 1984 Detroit Tigers. There will be a DH because in both in 76 and in 84, the World Series used DHs. So there will be a DH. It'll be the Cincinnati Reds at the Detroit Tigers. I'm going to use the actual game 1 lineups from both of those World Series because the Reds faced a right-hander, and in their World Series in 76, the Yankees threw Doyle Alexander. So the Reds will be facing the right-hander, so I'm going to use that exact lineup. The Tigers faced a lefty in 1984. Mark Thurman started game 1 for the Padres. In 1976, Don Gullett started for the Reds. So I'll be using that exact lineup for the Tigers, which will include Larry Herndon in the left and Barbaro Garbe as DH. So they got their right-handed hitters in there. Payoff pitch, of course, has the splits for the batters, not for the pitchers. But and I haven't played payoff pitch in a while, so I'm going to probably play a practice game or something, and then do that for Friday Fun Day. But that'll be down the road. We've also got, of course, Stratomac 1987, May 10th. We're still in that. Got 2 more games to go for May 10th. Next game on the video for that will be Seattle at Milwaukee, where the last place Mariners have swept the first 2 games from the first place Brewers, and they're looking to actually sweep the whole series. Brewers need to win to save face. That'll be the next game. And then on inside pitch, we will be at Shea Stadium. It'll be the New York Mets hosting the Montreal Expos. Um, and I'm thinking that the Milwaukee-Seattle game will probably be Sunday. So I'm thinking tonight we're going to do the Mets and Expos because I know tomorrow morning RJL is going to have his slow playthrough to get ready for his 1999 replay. So I figured tonight would be a good intro into that. So we'll have the Expos and the Mets. Steve Rogers against Jerry Koosman, inside pitch 1977. Should be a good one. And then on Sunday evening, we will have the Brewers and the Mariners. So the Fun Day Friday will continue, at least for one more week. It'll be the payoff pitch's turn. And it'll be the Sparky Anderson game, the Bless You Boys game, whatever you want to call it. 76 Reds against the 84 Tigers. And if it goes well, maybe I'll play the whole World Series out. You never know. It depends on how it goes and what people think of it and all that good stuff. But that's going to do it from here as far as the NBC game of the week. Don't want to diverge too much from that. As these Cincinnati Reds beat the Dodgers, the 1978 Reds beat the Dodgers 6-1. Behind strong pitching from Tom Hume. I'm giving Tom Hume the player of the game. Tom Hume, 7 innings pitched, only allowed 4 hits and 1 run. So I would give him the kudos and the player of the game. So I do appreciate all you guys chiming in and being here for part of the NBC game of the week. Brian, I may do the whole series. We'll see what kind of response I get on game 1 and see if people like it or not. If I get a lot of views and people like it, then I'll continue. But anyway, that's going to do it from here. I got a couple of honeydew things to do that I can only do on Saturday, like go to the landfill and take our trash and stuff like that. Could do it during the week, but it's better to do it on a Saturday. I cut the grass yesterday when it wasn't quite so hot, so I don't have to worry about that. One of the beauties of being retired, you can do things on Monday through Friday that you normally would have to wait till Saturday to do. So I can get those out of the way and free up my Saturday for bigger and better things. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you enjoyed that presentation of the NBC Game of the Week on Season Ticket Baseball. And until tonight for Inside Pitch, the Expos and the Mets, roughly around 8 o'clock tonight, we will encourage you to play whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I'll see you all down the road.